Hey everybody, welcome back to SoCal Sports Report. I'm Ailis Garcia with my co-host Bobby DeMuro. I'm super excited for this episode.
Why is that?
Well, I think you're more excited though because we're actually filming at Daisy Martinez's house. Your best friend.
My best friend. Daisy and I go way back. We're drinking buddies from a long time ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Facebook friends. This has been, quite the technological relationship that you have with her.
Yeah, not many people are Facebook friends. How old is she?
She just turned 78.
And she does not look a day over 25. Imagine that.
She has people flocking to her Facebook just to see what she uses for that anti-aging regimen.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, yes, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
So, Kobe, it's been a while since this came out, but Kobe recently created Kobe Inc. And so that led a lot of people to ask the question, is he thinking about basketball or is he thinking about his career after basketball? Now, Kobe Inc. is kind of like the umbrella company that he created, and he also invested in a company called Body Armor, which is an energy drink. So what is Kobe thinking right now? Is he actually preparing and recovering, or is he strictly business?
I don't know. I think I'm worried that when you create this company, well, let me start at the start. It's good to create the company, right? It's smart for a player. You see a lot of NBA players lose their money. Kobe's not going to lose his money. He
makes so much money.
Yeah, he made $1 billion. It would be difficult to spend all that money.
Although, what major athlete? There's been a lot of, you saw that one documentary.
Tons.
Yeah.
Listen, broke. ESPN's documentary broke. And those guys did not make anywhere near what Kobe made. But still,
you can lose a lot of money really fast.
Kurt Schilling lost like $150 million. So it can happen. So I understand that you make the business, you want to do something after you play, and Kobe's competitive, so he'll fit in the business world in that competition. So hey, that's awesome. My concern is he really that focused on this season, next season, if he creates this corporation? And I know he's not the only employee. It's not an LLC. Like, if we created a small business, like, we'd be doing all the taxes.
Yeah, he's not wearing all the hats. Yeah. He's not the one, in the day-to-day operations.
He's hiring a guy.
He has people in every department. He's not bootstrapping it from the bottom up. It's like, set up. He has people running it. It's just kind of like obviously his name and his money, but it's not like he's an actual, businessman in it.
Absolutely, and he may not work on that thing, but a couple hours a week. Who knows? He may just be a total big picture guy with that. Who knows where he is? My concern though is when you're as competitive as Kobe is, or anybody who has that kind of mindset, when you do something like this and you're trying to win at it, it can take over your life. Example, basketball. How many shots has he had to have put up in practice in his whole life? 20 million shots and free throws.
But it goes back to the fact that he's not the one running it.
He isn't, but you say you can't get carried away, even though you're not the guy running it. You don't think he can get carried away looking at it and saying, I'm focused on this, I'm focused on this. Oh yeah, we got to play the season too.
Not with the way he's been talking about basketball.
That's
true. He's been very loud this season that he hasn't played, and he hasn't tweeted anything about, not that I know of, oh, I can't wait to invest in this company this week, and
that's true. He has been so vocal, and that's kind of the one saving grace on this if you're a Lakers fan. He's been so vocal about, oh goodness, it's windy now. He's been so vocal about basketball and what's going on with that, and the Lakers winning again and all that sort of stuff. So I agree with you. I don't think that it's going to affect him too much, but if I'm a Lakers fan, I am a little concerned, and I'm saying, Kobe, we're paying you a lot of money. We expect a lot out of you. Basketball needs to be priority number one.
Maybe, but I think they're all buying his energy drink that he just invested in, Body Armor. So he's not the main. I believe other athletes are actually a part of the marketing campaign and the face of the energy drink, but he's just solely an investor in the company. So maybe if he were, out at every tasting event and every outside venue with the street team, hey guys, try my energy drink, that'd be a different story, but I don't think he's doing that.
That would be a huge news if he was
at the markets doing the sampling.
Well, with this, actually, maybe the last important question with this, Ailis, is now that Kobe Inc. exists and now he's doing this, we know that this coming year is going to be a big one for him if he can actually get healthy and stay healthy. But my question is, how many more years does he have left? Is this him saying, I've only got one more year and then I'm gone?
He's already thinking about the future, right? But at the same time, if you're a competitive athlete, you would be a competitive business person too. And what person doesn't want to invest in a business if they have the money and the means to do so? So there's other players that have their own thing going for them, and other people that may not be athletes and may not be business people per se, like as their sole profession that also have businesses too.
Well, on the top of my head, though, I agree with that, but on the top of my head, endorsements absolutely for athletes. But how many other athletes actually run their own corporation?
Yeah, but I don't, it goes back to the same thing. I don't think he's there running it every day.
No, he's not. But I mean, it's one thing to put your name on it and to be a part of it. It's another thing to just do an endorsement for Nike or whatever and do some commercials. Like, I'm really trying to think, like, is there another athlete who has, you know, Russell Wilson Inc., LeBron James Inc.? I mean, there's nothing like that.
There's got to be someone. We got to look it up. If you know, let us know.
Yeah, please do, actually. I'm sure we're forgetting something incredibly obvious. Obviously, Lance Armstrong with Livestrong, the nonprofit, although that's, I guess, a little bit of a different situation. But maybe it is a good comparison.
Yeah.
For,
Does Tiger Woods have anything?
I think it's just endorsements. It's his Nike endorsement with his golf apparel. It's what, Cadillac or whoever he endorsed.
Right.
I'm really trying to think about athletes who actually own their own businesses and run them. Granted, maybe not day to day, but still have
Magic Johnson after the fact, though. He wasn't playing, but he didn't have a business when he was playing.
Tough question. Yeah. I don't know.
Let us know. Speaking of baseball, Magic Johnson owns part of the Dodgers. Barry Bonds, this is also a good topic because he's post-career. He's looking at other options. He was a spring training instructor for the Giants.
Yes.
What does this mean? Is this kind of the direction that he's going into the coaching route after he's, you know, done with his playing career? Or I don't think he'd make a good sportscaster.
No, he would not make a good sportscaster. He hates the media, literally hates the media, and they hate him. So he should not be a sportscaster. Although he does know a lot about the game.
Sure, that's why you would make a good coach.
Yeah, I think obviously these spring training instructors get brought in for like 7 days, and it's sort of a PR thing, and it is sort of to help the guys and the younger guys. One thing I'll say in Bonds' favor is this offseason, he coached now Houston Astros center fielder Dexter Fowler.
Right.
Worked with him a lot, and he was a spring training instructor. So maybe this is Bonds saying, hey, I want to be a hitting coach at some point. I don't know. Look no further than Los Angeles Dodgers hitting coach Mark McGwire.
Yeah, so he, you know, came from the Cardinals.
Came from the Cardinals, huge home run guy, huge baseball player, huge performance-enhancing drug problem. Bonds and McGwire have those three things in common.
Yeah, they have a lot of things in common, and I think a lot of players, obviously McGwire isn't endorsing PEDs, so I would assume Barry Bonds would do the same and be like, hey, obviously I had a great career, but people hate me, and don't do, you know, don't do PEDs and take drugs and steroids.
Yeah, I think
I think, you know, he'd be there as like, hey, I want to be your mentor. This is the way you should do it.
Yeah, this is what not to do. I did this. Here were the good things of my career and whatever. Here's the one bad thing I did. Maybe don't do it. And if you look at it from that perspective, I think it's a very positive thing.
Although, you know, it's only a bad thing because he got caught.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe he doesn't. I assume he just doesn't bring it up. But steroids or not, he does have a wealth of hitting experience. The guy could hit the ball even before we think he started taking steroids. Right. Even when he was thin in Pittsburgh and was a fast guy, he was still a great hitter and a great baseball player. So he does have something to bring to the table as a coach. It appears the Giants media folks are saying he calmed down a lot at spring training. He wasn't as contentious as he'd been in the past. So maybe, I mean, he's not old, I say old age, but in his post-career playing days, he's in his 40s, probably 45.
That's it?
Yeah. Because he finished playing at 42. He finished playing in, oh geez, what year did he finish playing? 2010, 2011 at 40? So he's probably about 45. He's definitely under 50. So, I mean, he's not an old guy. He's got a long time to go. The paradigm for this, for me, is Cleveland Indians designated hitter Jason Giambi, who's also like 42. Got caught in New York with steroids as a member of the Yankees. Immediately copped to it, apologized, was very, very sad and sorry about it. Went to Colorado with the Rockies. Played with the Rockies for like 6 years. The Rockies liked him so much as a mentor, they almost made him the player manager. Not even kidding. This past year, Rockies hired a different manager. It didn't work out. Giambi's now in Cleveland mentoring guys. And he's the kind of guy who looks at young guys and says, this is what to do, this is what not to do. And everybody really respects him. If Bonds does the same thing, it's all positive.
Moving on, still on topic of baseball, we're going to talk about replays, since that seems to be the hot topic of the season. I know you're really opposed to it, but I actually think replay is a good thing for baseball.
Why?
It's modernizing the sport. You have to continue on with the times. Every other sport has it. You just have to have it. It's a good direction for the sport.
Okay.
It's moving in a great path.
Are you done?
Let's hear it, because I got some rebuttal for you.
Fine. Yeah, I know you do, but here's the thing. I am old school, and I know I'm in the minority with this, but baseball has been played for 125 years, and replay didn't start until just recently. We don't need replay. We've got 4 umpires to do it. Part of the beauty of baseball, the perfection of baseball, as I drop my pen because I'm pissed, the perfection of baseball is imperfection. Calls are wrong. The core of the game of baseball, Ailis, is the strike zone.
Exactly. I know that there's no replay on the strike zone.
But that's my point.
But there's big plays that need to be replayed that could change the course of the game because of a stupid call that wasn't called directly. It should be fairly called.
Our friendship's going to end on this debate here.
That's okay.
Balls and strikes are not replayable, and they shouldn't be. But the strike zone is subjective. It's deeper than this. The strike zone is different and subjective to every single umpire, and every umpire has idiosyncrasies. The strike zone is
subjective, but outs are not. And perfect games
But here's my point.
Are not.
But this is the thing. It's subjective and it's beautiful in how imperfect it is. Because some umpires like outside pitches, some umpires like low strikes, some don't. Cowboy Joe West and Balk and Bob Davidson have 2 different strike zones. You got to deal with them differently when you have them home plate umping in your game. To extend that to replay now, baseball has lived without replay for 125 years. I like the way that it is, that it's imperfect.
What else has the sport? The sport is not played the same way it was played some years ago. The padding, the helmets.
But that's a good point. But paddings and helmets and stuff are safety issues. If we can make the game safer, put helmets on guys, put padding on guys, they're talking about putting some type of special hat on pitchers. That's a good thing because it won't change.
But replay isn't.
I don't think so. I'm old school. I know I'm in the minority.
What was the pitcher that did not get the perfect game because of an out that was incorrectly called?
Armando Galarraga, 2010. Armando Galarraga, Detroit Tigers pitcher, gets 26 outs of a perfect game. On out number 27, guy hits a ground ball to first base. Cabrera tosses it to him. He catches it, touches the base. Jim Joyce calls the runner safe when he was actually out. The next guy is out. Galarraga throws a one-hitter instead of a perfect game. You go back on replay after the game. Joyce was very apologetic. Galarraga was a class act in how he dealt with Joyce and kind of said, hey, mistakes happen. You know, I'm a man. And it was a beautiful moment, but it was a perfect game.
Mistakes happen, but down in the books, it's not a perfect game, and it should have been. And you believe...
No, it shouldn't have been a perfect game because Joyce is part of the game. He made a mistake, but he's safe. You deal with it. Here's why I hate replay. In life, you don't get replay. You can't have a do-over. You can't correct a call.
But you get it in another sport.
But baseball is the best of sports. You don't get replay. And if you're an adult in life, Armando Galarraga had to deal with the fact that Joyce messed up the call. You can't do anything about it.
So then why did baseball get replay then?
Because they're trying...
There's so many people...
They're trying to appeal to casual fans and fans who come from football who expect replay, and I think it's stupid. I think baseball should have stayed... What do we do next on replay? Do we do golf replay to see if a guy hits a ball out of bounds, if it touched the rough, if it touched out of bounds, if it touched some, fan's toe? How far do we go on replay? I'm serious.
Reuse toe?
It's too much. It's going to slow the game down. We talked 2 weeks ago on this show about baseball games slowing down, and then we've got replay here that's going to only slow baseball games down. They're already getting longer. They're already getting longer, and you're going to extend it by another 5 minutes? Unacceptable.
It makes the game better.
Here's another thing why it makes it worse, and you'll agree with me on this. You will, I promise. Nowadays, when a controversial call happens, a manager goes out to the umpire, talks with him until he gets a sign from the video guy about whether or not to replay the call. That's boring and sterile. Back in the day, when an ump messed up a call, a manager went out, took the base out, flipped his hat down, kicked dirt. That's more interesting.
It is better for TV, but I think they'll still do it. They'll find a way to still create.
I mean, they will find some kind of a way.
Exactly. There we go. We can agree on something.
We've seen ejections, but I just think that the replay makes it so sterile with these managers. They just wait for the video guy. We're not going to argue. We'll just wait for the video guy. It didn't work out. Okay, well, see you later, umpire. It's argue. I want to see these arguments. That's baseball.
They're still going to argue. We have plenty of baseball left, and we've got plenty more shows coming to you. I can't keep up with this. We're going to see you next week. Ailis Garcia, Bobby DeMuro.